Hello, good evening. It's your old pal Conor back in the driver's seat again for this rendition of Tic Talking. I'm going to be your host this evening. I was meant to be joined by Paul, hopefully, but he is on holiday, I'm sure. So I'm hoping that he's having a good time and enjoying his time away. I mean, God knows you could do with some R&R after the 90 minutes we were subjected to at the weekend. But yeah, I am going to be on here tonight discussing, the game on Sunday, some of the fallout, what it maybe means for the rest of the season, if it means anything at all. Look ahead to the game against Aberdeen and possibly the game against Rangers at the weekend. And we'll just go on for there, giving my, unique takes, I guess if you want to put it that way. But anyway, guys, if you are interested, you guys can like, share and subscribe to the channel. We really do appreciate it. If you guys can also, please don't forget that you can become a Boys in the Bus member for the low fee of $1.99 a month. Totally optional. It just gives you a little extra wee bits and bobs to help support the channel. Wee scars next to your name, little highlighted comments, things of that nature. And if you're up for doing that, that'd be fantastic. We're also on SoundCloud as well. If you're interested in listening to it on there, so other platforms are available. Also, you can follow us on Twitter and stuff like that as well if you're so inclined with the old, X. I keep forgetting it's called X now. Cheers, Elon Musk. But anyway, I'll get into the meat and potatoes. It's probably going to be a bit of a shorter episode than I planned because we don't really have anybody here to play off with. It's to have a conversation with. It is just me by myself. So if anybody in the comments is wanting for me to bring up certain points or you want to have a discussion, talks, different talking points, stuff like that, hit them in the live chat and we'll discuss that as we go on. But so the game against Rangers at the weekend was Ibrox. I think the first thing that kind of came to everybody's attention was people were having questions over the starting lineup. So who would start in goals? Would it be Schmeichel? Would it be Sinisalo? Would it be fire Dane Murray in? Or would we, throw Benjamin Arthur from the the frying pan at the fire for one of his first starts? The questions over that were quite big. Who would start a left back? Would it be Tierney Sirachi? Who's going to be a right back? Araujo? Because there was questions over him being injured. But so the starting lineup for me was the biggest surprise was obviously Sinisalo starting, because I know that he had a really good performance against Jesus, who played in Europe? Oh God, I can't even remember. Jesus, who the fuck did we play? Stuttgart. Sorry, against Stuttgart the other night. Obviously getting the win, they kept a clean sheet. Had a good performance, but I think a lot of people were convinced Schmeichel was going to come in as the a seasoned pro and whatever, and the guy who's been playing these games before. But obviously it then came out that he was feeling sick, he wasn't feeling well, so I'd imagine that Kasper Schmeichel probably got to sell like a dodgy takeaway from McDonald's or something the night before. Maybe got a bit of food poisoning or something wrong with his Mackey's order. And that's probably why he couldn't play on the Sunday. But obviously Sinisalo steps in to replace Kasper Schmeichel. Kasper Schmeichel not even making the bench. Dane Murray is then put in at centre back alongside Liam Scales. Araujo starts at right back and Tierney takes left back spot ahead of Marcelo Sirachi. And Junior Adami starts up top instead of Thomas Chvanchara after his performance against Stuttgart on the Thursday night. So, yeah, for me, the starting lineup, I think starters, that's arguably who I would have started. Although saying that, with Dane Murray being there, me personally, I would have rather put Tierney in at centre back alongside Scales and put Sriracha at left back. I do feel like, I know that we'll come on to it, he scored, but I think Sriracha's shown that his level's above Kieran Tierney. To be honest, this season as a left back, I think he's better defensively. I think he's better going forward. I think he has a lot more pace about him. He can actually take it down the outside and whip balls in, and he can, I think he's just an all-round better footballer, and he's obviously not as injury prone and can actually last a 90 minutes as opposed to Kieran Tierney. But let's say about that, the better. But yeah, the team for me was fine with the selection. Niger in the midfield over guys like Hatate, stuff like that was fine. Oxlade-Chamberlain as a start alongside McGregor, and then Yang is up top with Maeda on the other wing. So yeah, I was fine with it, to be honest. It was, on hindsight, O'Neill made a mistake. He did make a mistake with the starting lineup, because obviously we go 2-0 down within 26 minutes. So yeah, I was, by that point, I was like, I'd said it for weeks. I've said it countless times. The season's fucking done. It is, a season of all seasons to be forgotten. It is the worst possible scenario we could have had, and like the team was just crumbling in front of my very eyes. Obviously, what's his face? Chermiti gets a good overhead kick. I think it's made a bit, a lot's been made about it, it's the best, game in a derby, in about 10 years, even the best game in Old Firm this year, in my opinion. I think Yang's goal at Celtic Park in the game we lost was actually a better goal, if you're being totally honest with yourself. But yeah, poor defending. And then from the second one, McGregor, so for the first one, McGregor gives it away, poor from McGregor, and then Araujo doesn't get rid of it quickly. Second goal, an absolute comical error by Dane Murray, leads him to slice the ball instead of clearing it. It's about to come to Araujo. He thinks he can get it, and Chermiti just nips in front of him and slots it past in the Salo, and Ibrox is jumping, and we're like, Christ, we're in for a long 90 minutes here. We were dire that first half. That was the worst first half I think I've seen a Celtic for, against Rangers for a good while, and that's saying something. I actually think, ironically, the best first half we've had against Rangers all season has been the game where Wilfred Nancy was ever in charge, and that was quite something considering how poor a manager he was. But I think as far as first halves go, I think the one on Sunday is one to forget, one for the history books, and it's something that I feel like we got wrong from the off with the lineup, with the tactics as well. I don't understand why Martin O'Neill insisted on playing long balls over the top when Thomas Fanchara is meant to be the guy who's the striker, who's meant to be there to hold the ball up and bring the players towards him. But he's picked Junior Adamu instead, and the ball's getting lumped up to him. He's not tall enough to get it, and if he does get onto it, he's not able to control it and bring it down and bring the players, up to pass it off to then make a move with it. It's just bizarre to me. I don't know why we were playing the long ball tactic when Rangers had, I think, six or seven players who were over the height of 6 foot. Celtic had 3, and none of them played at that end of the pitch. They all played at the back. And I don't understand that. I don't understand the tactics that Martin O'Neill was trying to go for. I don't understand the game plan at all. And it clearly didn't work. It was clearly, doomed to failure from the off. I don't understand why that was the case. Because if you're playing balls over the top, I don't know why you would just stick Dies and Maeda as a striker, chip the balls over the top and see if you can run onto it. Because that seems to be a tactic where we had some success with that in the past, but that obviously wasn't what was going on. The game was hell for leather the first half. Rangers really going for it, really in control. absolutely battering us that first half, and a lot of players doing, very, very little to take pride in the badge and to actually show us, how much this potential league season could mean to them. More so guys who, like, it was probably quite frightening for guys like Dane Murray, Junior Adamu, Oxley Chamberlain to go for such a meaningful game at a cauldron of hatred like Ibrox in a scenario like that. That's like shitting your pants like material. Like it really is. And we know with how close everything has been this season. This isn't like normal seasons. Normally at this point in the season's gone by, would be about 6 or 7 points clear, and the game at Ibrox, win, lose or draw, the results wouldn't really be that substantial because we know we're going to win the league anyway. But because it's so tight, tensions are high, and like the tensions are high in every derby regardless, but tensions are extremely high now because of how just neck and neck it is. It is a 4-way title race this season. Not a 2-way, not a 3-way, a 4-way title race this season between Hearts, Celtic, Rangers, and Motherwell. It's madness. So I can understand why that environment and why, that, Coliseum and noise would kind of get to the guys at Chamberlain. And look, I know he's played in big derbies. He's played in the Istanbul Derby and the Merseyside Derby and all the rest of it. They've not really got a patch on the Glasgow Derby on the Old Firm. Let's not beat about the bush. They've not got a patch on it. For the level of hatred and what it means to both sets of supporters. Like it's night and day. So a couple of guys, like previously mentioned, like a rabbit in the headlights, but obviously we come out in the second half and it is a much, much improved performance, especially taking off Oxley Chamberlain, putting a tatty on and playing Tanecki on the wing. So taking Adamu off, putting Murray the striker and putting Tanecki on that left wing. I think that massively changed how we could approach the game. We stopped with the stupid shelling it out for the back and try to launch the ball forward and stuff like that when it wasn't really going to anybody when we weren't winning the balls. We kept it tidy, kept it neat, passing it along the deck, doing what Celtic can do and playing decent football. That is what this team's been built on. It's what we're good at. We are not the physical sides of years gone by, like under Martin O'Neill and Gordon Strachan. We don't have that in us anymore, and it's something we have lacked in for a good long time now. It's something we need to try and get back. But teams who like to rough us up, like Rangers, let's be honest, as a team, especially in derbies, they're not interested in playing football. They're interested in winning by hook or by crook and try to rough up the opposition, being us, and trying to get one over on those, Fenian bastards and all the rest of it. That's what they're interested in doing. They're not interested in trying to put the ball on the deck, try and play a bit of sexy football like we do. They don't like doing that. That's their prerogative. That's what they've always done. That's why they've got, that's why their heroes are, cunts like Gorham and all the rest of it, and Butcher and guys like that, just big hatchet merchants who couldn't fucking, kick a balloon about a party. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and our heroes are guys like Jimmy Johnston. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference in mentality between the two sets of fans and what they want to see on the football pitch. And look, that's their right to do so. But saying that, in the second half, we get the ball on the deck, try to play a bit of actual fucking football for a change, and it worked to our benefit. So we got to go back with Kieran Tierney. Brilliant header, good assist by Nygren. We then get back into it, and you could see the effect that it had on the crowd in Ibrox. They, obviously, after 2-0, they were bouncing, they were well up for it. They were singing all the usual bile and piss you come out with every single, time we play them. But when that goal went in, the place went eerily quiet and started getting on their players' backs. And I've always said this, the Ibrox crowd can turn you like that. Like recently, at Celtic, it's been dead. It's been a library, right? Even when things are going poor, there's maybe not been shouting and baying blood for the stands, maybe come full time there is. But when things have been going back, it's kind of just quiet. It's kind of just quiet. It's not too mental. It's like but at Ibrox, when things are going bad, the teddy bears have got a bad temper. And they let their players know about it for sure. So Tierney scores that goal. We're back into it. Luke McCowan also nearly scores. Which that was see in the back of that move was absolutely brilliant. That was some of the best football that got played all day. Probably some of the best football played all season. And that move that almost led to McCowan scoring that goal. It's quite actually, he's in an almost similar position to the goal he scored against Stuttgart. Maybe just a wee bit further in, but I think he needs to be doing better, to be honest. You know, I thought McCowan had a really good game against Stuttgart. I feel that he could have took that confidence and took that performance and brought it in the game against Rangers. But he came on, he didn't really, you know, he had that one attempt, and then after that, he kind of just petered out a wee bit. But yeah, we get the goal back. The game keeps going on. We're still trying, still going for that equaliser, and it eventually comes in the form of a penalty, which Rio Hatate tucks away at the third time of asking off the rebound, which is saved by Jack Butland. So talking about players who stood out to me, good and bad, because I think, you know, it was such a hodgepodge of performances. Obviously, the first half, fucking shambolic how bad we were. In the second half, marked improvements all around, you know, all over the pitch. Even guys like Dane Murray in that I thought had a good second half. I'm not saying he's, you know, good enough for Celtic, but I'm saying second half was much, much better. Obviously, couldn't have gone much bloody worse. So, players for me who had good performances, I think Araujo was great. I think Janetke was good when he came on. I think Sinisalo, despite conceding the 2 goals, Sinisalo for me, he made the basic saves, the stoppages he needed to. He came and collected the ball mid-air when he needed to. He was commanding his box. I think it's obviously quite unlucky that he gets, you know, a world he scored against him at the first goal, and the second one is really, really poor defending for Dane Murray, and then Araujo is poor to try and get there as well. But yeah, Sinisalo for me, I think he's done himself big favours cementing his starting position for the number one for the rest of the campaign. To be honest, I do think that he should be number one for me. I think Schmeichel he's done. Like he is done. Now, people were saying he didn't look too well in the training photos before coming out, you know, coming to play on Sunday. That's a snapshot images. You can take it anywhere you want to slice it. But let's be honest, that's potentially maybe Schmeichel playing up a bit, hamming it up a bit. You know, you've seen it happen before, and he's maybe what to save face. That's maybe what's happened at the weekend. He's maybe thought, I'm done. The fans hate me. I'm no confident in my abilities as a goalkeeper anymore. I'm out of shape. You know, I've got fucking polo mitts for hands. And I can't say fuck all. As soon as the ball comes towards me, it's going to the back of the net. So he's maybe took a bit of a sickie to, you know, save himself a bit of embarrassment, you know, getting turned out at Ibrox. And see if that is the case, I'm fucking happy for it, because Sinisalo came in and I thought a decent game, despite conceding the 2 goals. Rio Hatate as well. My God, Rio Hatate. He's took a lot of stick this season. He's took a hell of a lot of stick. Rightfully so, because he's been fucking pissed for the majority, right? But this is the thing, when Hatate is on his game, right? On his game, on his day, these days no came a lot this season. There's no came a lot the last 2 seasons. But best midfielder in the league. Best midfielder in the league by a country mile. Rio Hatate is. You've seen it as soon as he came on. He was keeping the ball. He wasn't making silly passes. He was like keeping it neat, tidy, controlling that midfield. It didn't matter if he was surrounded by 2 Rangers players. He was able to take it in, turn, pass, and move. So simple, but he was able to come away with it and do it. Honestly, brilliant. I thought Rio Hatate was excellent. I thought he's the one that gave us that spark back, because we lost the midfield battle in the first half. It was so poor. And Rio Hatate came on and gave us that bit of energy, gave us that spark in the middle of the pitch to get us back into the fight, which is something which we were severely lacking in the first half. Like, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think, was so poor that first half. Like I'm saying, I don't know if the occasion got to him, I don't know if it was the environment, whatever it is, but Oxlade-Chamberlain for me, off the back of what I've seen so far, and granted it's a very small sample size, there's still 9 games to go, but what I have seen so far, he's not lived up to the hype. he's been quite poor. He makes, he has a couple of nice touches. He has, a couple of nice passes. He had one good run in the first half, but he fucked it because he lost the ball and he didn't release it early enough. But, besides that, he was getting muscled off the ball. He was dilly-dallying on it. It was quite poor. But what I don't know what it is. It was like a rabbit in headlights, a deer in headlights the entire game. Bloody ox in headlights, at Ibrox. So I think I do think the occasion maybe got to him. I think we've seen so far that there is obviously still a player there, and that I think he'll be, not as he'll come good, you know what I mean, but I think he's going to impact their games positively more than negatively for the rest of the season. That's my hope. But yeah, so other players that I think were poor, I feel like the poor players now. Murray, for me, obviously, first half, mostly, was poor. He slices that ball, it's fucking piss poor. He's, I think he just looks scared, to be honest. I don't blame him. He's been to Tynecastle, so he played Hearts twice. One time at Tynecastle, he scored 2 bloody OGs against Hearts. I feel bad for the boy. The boy, it's not his fault that he's been put in this situation. It's the fucking board's fault for not signing a competent centre-back. We let a Man City academy graduate who's played Champions League football, played Premier League football, hardly got a sniff at it. Whatever, the manager maybe didn't fancy him, whatever. I think he was still worth getting more of a sniff than what he got. And Jemai Simpson-Pusey, he's then shuffled off to go to FC Cologne, actually, which is funny enough. That's where he's playing now. But then bring in Benjamin Arthur in the January window because the Trusty's got bans, potential could get injuries as well. Like Scales, he's hot and cold, for the games. He can be brilliant some weeks, and other weeks he looks like he's hardly fucking touched the ball in his life. So we then bring in a boy for Brentford, Benjamin Arthur, who's only had 3 professional games his entire career. I think one of them's been with us. So it's crazy that the fact that Dane Murray's been forced into this position. Oh, we let Stephen Welsh go as well. We brought Stephen Welsh out for a couple of games and let Stephen Welsh go. Do you know what I mean? It's nuts. It's nuts the fact that the position we're in with the centre backs are now. Cameron Carter-Vickers has been injured all season. The best central defender in the league, he's been injured all season. And what did the Celtic board do? Scales and Trusty, or mostly Trusty, was a bit part player up until this season. What did he do? No bother replacing anybody. We just, it doesn't matter that Hearts are getting their act together and Rangers are spending all this money. Nah, we'll just say fuck all. We'll not spend a penny on a fucking centre back. We'll get loans in for the academies, the Premier League teams. That's more than good enough. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Like the signings we've made this season, like I hope like the bullets are getting loaded in the chamber to fire whoever fucking signed it off all this shit. But we know who's done it. But I'm tired of going on about them. I speak about them every bloody time I'm on here about the fucking board. Just they're parasites, they're shite. Michael Nicholson's a specky wee bam and he's sacked like yesterday. Same with Chris Mackay, same with Brian Wilson. Dermot Desmond's a fucking cock. Do you know what I mean? So it's but yeah. Other players, I think Nygren was poor. Everybody says to me, oh, Nygren's a good player. Like, I have discussions with people that work, oh, Nygren's a good player, Nygren's a good player. I'm saying, what does Nygren do in the middle of that pitch that makes you think he's a good player? As a midfielder, he is pants. He is absolutely shocking. Benjamin Nygren. He's so poor. He scores goals, right? He scored a heck of a lot of goals this season. But still he's in the middle of that pitch. He doesn't do anything. He can't tackle. He can't press. He jogs about the pitch fucking aimlessly wandering. Doesn't know what he's doing. Doesn't know what fucking position he's in. And he doesn't do anything. He doesn't link the play. He doesn't do the McGregor role where he tries to contain the situations and close down balls and come back and defend. He doesn't do the Rio Hatate thing where he takes the ball in, he's always looking forward, he's always looking for the ball, he's always looking to get on it and make something happen. No, he just randomly pops up and scores goals. That's it. So instead of playing him in the middle of the park, where he does fuck all, right, besides score the occasional goal, put him at the number 9 spot, put him as a number 9, pair him with a centre forward, and see if somebody like Thomas Fanchara can knock the ball in for something like Benjamin Nygren, who can then go up the park and score. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I think we're at a point now where we can see that what we're doing, I know we got away with it at the weekend and it's a good result and all that. It's more a point for us. It's a point for us gained, and it's 2 points for Rangers dropped. I understand that, right? And I know if it was there for Nygren's goals and that would be fucking, they would be in 7th and would be fucked. They'd be the worst season in living memory for a lot of us. But Aloy's goals don't like make up for his lack of effort and his lack of just any ability on the park to do anything. Do you know what I mean? So if Nygren's the one that scores goals, the most goals, and I've got 2 strikers that can't score fucking goals, play Nygren further up the pitch and have somebody like Chavanchara who can at least use his height and use his hold-up play to bring Nygren in the game forward and let him go and score. Do you know what I mean? Something like that, or play him as a false 9, something like that. Like I have no idea what to do with him, because in the actual middle of the pitch, Nygren for me, he does nothing. He does absolutely nothing for me. Like it's crazy. And look, he scores some in the goals. Thank God for the goals he scored, because where the fuck would be without them? But I need more from him in the middle of the pitch. I need more from him. Do you know what I mean? At least the Engels, for as limited as he is, goes and commits fouls and tries and roughs up players and tries and win it back and tries audacious passes forward. Half the time when Nygren tries to pass forward, they fucking gives it to the player and the opposition player or pursue it. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy to me why they keep insisting that he plays there. So I would just play him somewhere else if it was me, to be honest. Maida, I think, was poor. I know that people go, oh, but he tries. He really, really tries. He tries so hard, and his effort levels are unquestionable. I understand that, but he's so. Anki looks done now for me. Anki's he's geared up. Some of his efforts yesterday were powder puff at best. And look, to be fair, he could have almost scored if Dujan Sterling never gave away that penalty. But some of his efforts on goal, some of the touches, just I think it's getting away from him now. I think the pace is getting away from him, and especially in these big games and that, he's just so poor for me. And you've seen the difference when Tenetke came on. Tenetke came on, he was having a go at players, he was taking men on, he was driving forward, cutting inside, having goes at goal, stuff like that. So Tenetke for me, whilst still a very limited player, still very young, I think is more deserving of a start in there than what Dyson Maida is for me. I would start Sebastian Tenetke over Dyson Maida on Wednesday night, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, spoke about Oxlade-Chamberlain. He was poor. It's I've already spoken about that. I mean, I just hope that he hasn't took a knock in his confidence after getting pulled off in the second half for the next game that he plays, because I'd imagine he will start against Aberdeen. I think that'll probably be your I think it's going to be between McGregor, Nygren and Chamberlain, and McGregor, Hatate and Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think that'll be probably the starting midfield going forward. If it was up to me though, I think Chamberlain's better as a sub. I think he'd be better as an impact sub coming on to try and bring us into the game a bit more, maybe when we're struggling, or try and give us a bit of magic. Do you know what I mean? I think he should possibly be a sub, an impact sub. But I don't know. I don't know if because of his name and how profile is, and I don't know what kind of wages he'll be on, but whatever's in his contract. I know some players got things with their contract about they have to play a certain amount of minutes and they have to, all that stuff. So I don't know. But if it was for me, I'd put him on as an impact sub for like second half performances. But if the question is like, Hatate, like, weekend came against Rangers, brilliant, changed the game for us, right? He could start on Wednesday against Aberdeen and drop a stinker. Like that, that could happen. That is well within the realms of possibility for what we've seen this season, even last season, for Hatate. We're just in such a quagmire who to put in that midfield, because it's so all over the place. Like, the only, I think, areas I've got nailed on really for starters is the defence, being the right back, left back, and two centre backs, and that's mostly down due to injuries and suspensions than anything else. So yeah, it's quite mad. We're on the right wing as well, because Yang usually always starts in the right wing. So but yeah, it's mad. Obviously, I don't know who you boys would pick for starting in the Aberdeen against Wednesday. Tell me down in the comments below who you would want to start against Aberdeen on Wednesday night, because I'm quite interested to see if you agree with me, and if you don't, be fine. Totally entitled to the opinion, guys. But yeah, so we get the penalty game, finishes 2-2. We're all celebrating, we're all laughing. Thank fuck, I was more breathing sighs of relief, because I was like, I was absolutely petrified that during that first half we were going to get an absolute dusting. But yeah, there's talks about the penalties. And is it a pen? Is it not a pen? Aye, it's a penalty. Dujan Sterling has replaced the long gone Conor Goldson and being Rangers' backup goalkeeper when the keeper isn't going to save it and handling the ball. Like, that's what Dujan Sterling did. People are on Super Scoreboard and Twitter and all the rest of it. I mean, the meltdown for the Huns has been absolutely glorious. So, when you're done watching me tonight, I strongly urge you to go online and go on Super Scoreboard and all the rest of it, and tune into to the absolute meltdown that they've been having the last couple of days over that. But it's a Stonewall penalty. Do you know what I mean? Like, he jumps up and he lifts his arm up like that, and if it doesn't hit off his arm and bounce off Jack Butland's coupon, it's gone in the back of the net. So it's a Stonewall penalty. But saying, but he never meant it. If you look at the rules, if you look up the rules, intentional or intentional, the penalty can still be given for a handball if that's the case. Do you know what I mean? It's quite funny, the fact that they are just having such a meltdown over this. Like, let's be honest, right? If that was up the other end of the park, they'd be screaming for it. Oh, they'd be screaming for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's mental. The mental gymnastics that is mental. The mental gymnastics that these people are trying to go to try and call out corruption and yes, of course you've got your penalty and the rest of it. It was John Beaton as the referee and Kenny McLean as the VAR operator. That was your big guns. They were in the trenches for you. You pulled out all the stops to try and get the win against us on the weekend, having your best officials to officiating for you, and all the rest of it. Like, John Beaton, when he went up to the VAR monitor, looked fucking gutted that he had to give that decision, which just makes it all the sweeter, to be totally honest, with how it panned out. But penalty, 100% penalty. I wouldn't be going ahead with Rio as a penalty taker for the future, to be totally honest. I mean, Jesus, we're lucky that Butland panned out the wrong way, because and Butland saved it twice. Butland actually saved it twice. It took Rio Hatate 3 attempts to get that ball in the back of the net, and I'm glad he did, to be honest. But it's mad. I mean, it's crazy. You also see the thing as well, like, the referee performance poor. This, that. John Searle should have been sent off in that game at the weekend. I don't see a lot of people talking about this a lot. John Suter had about 5 or 6 fouls before getting a yellow card. And by the letter of the because he goes into Adami, he puts his knee into Adami's back, or the back of him, totally wipes him out, has another couple of fouls, he then gets a card, and then has another couple of fouls in the second half. He then gets fouled, gets a yellow to start the second half. If you're going by what's going on, or the way that the game should be refereed, to be honest, he should have been sent off. should have been sent off. And there's clips going around of, the dirtiest player in the league being Diamande, right? Mohamed Diamande. And look, I'm reticent to say that I hate any human beings, right? Realistically. Like, even if they're wearing Rangers tops or the rest of it, at the end of the day, they're just human beings. They're just doing their job, right? They're playing for their team, whatever. And like, I don't hate many people besides the Celtic board. Like, I hate them with a burning passion, and you all know that. I hate the Celtic board with every fibre in my being. But Mohamed Diamande is the biggest prick in this league. He is the dirtiest bastard. And he gets away with foul after foul after foul every single game. You see it, that's how he doesn't start anymore, because he's a liability. It's going to catch up with him. You see him getting red card after red card in Europe for Rangers. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he's so protected. He's so protected. Cam McGregor gets a fucking card after one foul. Shooter gets away with 5 or 6. Diamande can foul as many times as he wants, never gets a card. And you want to know something funny? The red card that Austin Trusty got sent off for last week against Hibs, right? The fucking that with the arm, right? In fact, it was a bit in better view, right? It was rare for everybody to see. Mohamed Diamande did the exact same thing on Sunday there to Dane Murray. Did he spoke about it? Father, and he go, oh wait, oh, potential red card here, fucking violent conduct. But because Dane Murray has the bottle to, unlike the Hibs players the week before, to not roll around and fucking start greeting and, be a big blouse, nothing gets called up to it. The exact same thing happens, and nothing gets done about it. Nothing doesn't even get mentioned. But it's just the way it is. It's the same thing every week. The guy Lint on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, he's got receipts after receipts after receipts. I mean, Jesus. But he's got all the, niggly fouls, the rest of it, like, it didn't go our way. And that was one of them. That was one of them that never got picked up by it at all. So it's, to me, the whole crying about the decisions go against them. Rangers get more decisions for them than against them in every game that they play against us. But it's only ever the big ones, right? The big ones that are, the controversial ones that get brought up in the media and highlighted by Sky Sports and all the rest of it. But they never count up all the little niggly fouls and all the little potential cards and all the rest of it, which could be getting dished out here and there, which could change the course of the game. Never get spoke about. Do you know what I mean? So it's mad that the fuckers can cry corruption and all the rest of it when, we know exactly which side the bread's buttered on in terms of refereeing in this country. But yeah, at the end of the game, so game's wrapped up 2-2. There was a wee bit of fisticuffs. I mean, not really. But there was a wee scrap at the end of it. Araujo starts winding up, the opposition. He was doing it all game and that. And to be fair, like, I love the boy. He's a brilliant player for me, to be honest. And I quite like the fact that we all kind of had a go as well. Like, it's something very reticent that, I've seen, that we've got a bit of dig. That's what I like to see. I like to see us have a bit of dig. I like to see us wind the fuckers up, because we know they can't take it. Because, as a team, as a fan base, as a club, mentally they're weak and they're fragile. And, you can take advantage of that. And we can take advantage of it as well. So I do like to see that. And look, the thing is, for a fact that come this Sunday night that there's going to be about 6 or 7 cards. It's going to be fucking nuts, because there's like, it's a one-off game. It's not going to impact the league at all. It's crazy, but aye. So 74-year-old Martin O'Neill won his birthday, no less, sprinting for the sidelines to come and get involved as well, whilst the hair system fucking Danny Rowe is sitting on the sidelines, not bothering to control his players. Martin O'Neill, being the elder statesman, being the gentleman, being the good guy that he is, has to come on and try and calm everybody down. But for a split second, it looked as almost if the Rangers was going to try and go for Martin O'Neill as well, which, wouldn't he be a which wouldn't be funny for them because, they're fucking scum. So they probably, would go for an OAP in the middle of the pitch, to be honest, because you'd be on a Celtic trackie. That's just kind of just the way that they're wired as players and, as a support and stuff like that. So, it's quite funny, to be honest, just seeing the way they're all kind of panned out. The fact that they were 2-0 up in the first half and they were singing all their usual shite and were absolutely buzzing. The roof was coming off the place and they thought they were going to use an absolute tanking for us to show the mentality and the grit and the fight to actually come back into the into the game and get that result at the end of it. I think it's great. I think it was good. I think it shows that, unlike them, I don't think we're as weak for like mentally weak. The mentality's possibly still there. I think that's the only thing we've kind of got left in our arsenal, if I'm being honest. Mostly because of Martin O'Neill, who's been there, seen it, done it all, got the t-shirt multiple times. So I think Martin O'Neill's like your secret weapon to the end of the season. I think we need to just rely on whatever wisdom he can impart on these players, whatever grit, whatever cojones he can give to the boys that hopefully gets us something out of this season. Now, the question is does this impact the league season? Does this change the league? Does this change the results and where we're going as a team? I mean, look, it's kind of weird that the only team that won yesterday was Hearts, because that was the best result Hearts could have hoped for, was a draw. But didn't do it, because it takes a bit of pressure off them. Obviously, we've got the game in hand on Wednesday, which puts a bit more pressure on Rangers and Hearts if we were to win that. Obviously, big if. But we are in a position now where I think, obviously, for like me, this is probably controversial, right? Probably controversial, but for me, the league's done. I know it's quite, after being at the highs of getting the draw, the Mordor on Sunday, to say that it's maybe taking the wind out of some people's sails a wee bit. And I understand that, but for me, the league's done. Like, I don't think we've got the players here. I think we've got the coaching staff and we've got the mentality to go and try and do it. But what we can actually do on the pitch, I think for me, personally, it's kind of done. I think the most we can hopefully hope for is to win the Scottish Cup. And I think we can just ensure that the Rangers do not get a fucking sniff of the league. I mean, got comments here. The duality of man. We've got Michael Ross saying, I don't see us win the league, but you never know. And then Coffee23 saying, we're winning the league 100%. But yeah, I think the one that's done it is that loss against Hibs. I think if we'd won against Hibs, and I think if we've still got the draw at the weekend there, I think we'd have it to go in and win us. But I mean, I hope you're right. Look, I hope I'm wrong. I sincerely hope I'm wrong. I hope I am so wrong, and I hope I've got enough egg in my face at the end of the season to make a fucking omelette. I hope we win the league. I hope we win it. I just can't see it. I think the league's been done for a while. I just think it's one step forward, 2 steps back with this team. I think that's what the board has done to us this season. They've fucked us over at every turn. Every turn we've had to turn the screw, to turn over a new leaf, to try and give us a bit of a fight back in this, this league, this fucking title race. The board, they fucked us over at every opportunity. They didn't back Brendan Rodgers in the summer. We got put by Kairat fucking Almaty, the Champions League. They didn't back us in the summer by getting players in. Brendan Rodgers leaves. We get Martin O'Neill in, who comes in, steadies the ship. Do you know what I mean? And then, then cool, we're back in the fight. We're back in it. We were so close with Hearts at that point. They looked like they were stumbling a wee bit. We were miles clear of Rangers. We hire a fucking idiot, a fucking amateur, and Wilfred Nancy to come in and try and do something. Completely fucks it again. But then have to sack him. Martin O'Neill comes back in. He goes, okay, I'll come back. The Martin signal was shining in the sky with Celtic Park, and he comes back, takes the reins again. Cool. I need all your support, all you can give me to help us go for this title charge. Got a January transfer window coming up, and I'm going to need help in that. I need players. What did I do? Bombard them with fucking free transfers for utter shite. Fucking that player, what's his name? I forgot his name. The boy that plays at the wing. What's his name? He's played 45 minutes and that's it. I've actually forgot his fucking name. That's how bad a signing that was. Do you know what I mean? Junior Adamu signed on loan, which you know, Chwanchara loan. Oxlade Chamberlain a free. Benjamin Arthur, couple of professional appearances, also a loan. It's embarrassing. Like the fact that there's been multiple opportunities to save this season, right? There's been key points, right, dotted throughout the season, right, and I've named them all there. And the board, and obviously barring the biggest element, that's a fucking massive elephant in the room as well. Barring the biggest, most vocal element of the support, who help push the team on this. I know you can disagree, you might not like the Green Brigade, whatever, but the atmosphere they do bring massively helps the team, massively helps the players get motivated to go in and perform well for the supporters. Barring them as well, multiple points throughout the season to just say, right, we're fucked up then, we can turn it around now, we can hopefully get something, you know, out of this if we do the right thing now. They choose to do the wrong thing every single time. It is like they are purposely fucking up on us. It's like they are purposely saying, right, we went the wrong direction there, we must have to go right here instead of going left. But they go left again. It's crazy. It is crazy, to be honest. We've got George Haggerty here saying that he thinks Hearts are going to fail away. Look, I was saying that for a good long while. I was saying that until about 2 weeks ago. But they keep winning. Like, I know they beat Falkirk at the weekend there on Saturday. And I've got a pal that supports Falkirk. I was during the week, but anyway, I've got a pal that supports Falkirk, and he says that Falkirk battered them. Falkirk could have had about 4 or 5 goals. Do you know what I mean? And Hearts still got the win. And it's almost like a champions mentality they've got. They're doing what we should be doing, getting the results over the line, despite being shaky, despite being that. To be honest, it's mad. So aye, but it's kind of mad, to be honest, the fact that we're speaking about Hearts in that kind of fixture. But I do hope that we do win. I hope to God we win. I mean, look, we could potentially, right, and look, it's very, very slim chances, right? Very, very slim chances. That we win a double. Because a game against Aberdeen on Wednesday, I think we're overwhelming favourites for it, to be totally honest. I know we've not been great, you know, this season. And I know Aberdeen have been pretty shite, but Aberdeen are pants, man. Aberdeen are so fucking bad. They're so bad. But I know Phil that says that the guy, I can't remember his name, but the guy who's their interim manager now, he's a big, you know, cream bun, and he hates us, and he'd love to see, you know, us derail the season and the rest of it, and put the final nail in the coffin of our league title hopes. I don't think that's going to happen. I know that the pitch is going to be pretty leggy, and the weather's going to be pish and the rest of it. It's going to be dark and cold and all the rest of it. But, like, you know, if you can't do it on a windy, cold night up in Pittodrie, like, where can you do it? Like, if you want to win a fucking title, you've got to be able to go to each place and get these results over the line. I don't care. I don't care how bad the pitch is and how, you know, how much the opposition team's manager wants to help, you know, the Govan Bears, you know, every week and all the rest of it. Doesn't matter a fuck. You should be going in there and taking 3 points off Aberdeen regardless, because how poor they've been. Like, Aberdeen's been a stomping ground for us over the last 10, 15 years where, you know, it's been great. You know, we've got brilliant results there. Do you know what I mean? There's no people say, oh, it's a tough away game. There should be no tough away games for Celtic besides Ibrox. There should be no tough away games for Celtic besides Ibrox. And then obviously European games. Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm at. That's where I want us to be at. that's where we've not been at all season. We need to be that. We need to be the Celtic world. If we play the way we played in the second half against Rangers the weekend, right, and string that over the course of 90 minutes and do that for the next 10 games, we'll win the league. 100% win the league. 100% win the league. Do that easy. Easy, we'll win the league. If that's the way we play. But the question is, can we? Do we have the players who've got the fucking balls to do it? Put it on the line. Put it on the line for the supporters to do that, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? It's you know, it's simple. It's simple. It's simple that for us on Wednesday night to go and get the 3 points, we have to just fucking do what we did in the weekend. We are so angry this season for playing a game of two halves. We have one good half, one shit half. It's been that since the start of the season. Now, right now, we need to combine them. Combine them both. It's really that simple. And it's up to Martin O'Neill, up to Mark Fothering, up to Sean Maloney, up to Callum McGregor, up to the other leaders in that dressing room to get that out this group of players. Every week, every game. You've got 10 games, 11 games left. That's it. That's all you need to win this title. That's it. If you can't do that for the next, 2 months, you don't deserve to play for Celtic. If you can't do that. You don't deserve to wear the fucking hoops. You don't deserve to have 60,000 fans inside the stadium chatting your name, wanting you to do well, cheering you on. Not that that's happening now because of what's going on with the boycotts and that. But the message remains the same regardless. You need to perform for the people that put in their hard-earned money, hard-earned cash, travelling for all over the fucking world, getting ferries out for Ireland, all the rest of it. Getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning like Liam who stays here in Canada to watch your games week in, week out. Do you know what I mean? You owe it to them. You owe it to yourself as well as a fucking professional. As a professional football player, for your pride, for your career, you owe it to yourself to go on for the next 11 games and just go and just fucking win. Just do what you can to win. It's a simple science. Football is a simple game. Stop the ball going to your net, put it in the other net. It's a simple game. You can start learning it when you're a child. And these guys are meant to be masters of it. They're meant to be masters of football, the professional football players. So they need to go for it. That's what you need to do. So we've got a game on Sunday. Again at Ibrox. Against Rangers. Coffee 23. It's a FC Cologne kit, mate. Sometimes the boys on the show, we just wear different kits just because we want to. Like, I've not been on in a good long while. I usually wear a Celtic every week. I want to just change up this week. It's no intentional. I just figured, why not? No reasoning behind it. Just like, fuck it, why not? Like, I'm pretty sure Phil wears like an Arsenal kit and a Roma kit and an Napoli kit and the rest of it, like sometimes in the show. So it's like, I don't really think it's a big drama. But aye, the cream buns at Ibrox again. See, for me, right? Like, I know I said the league's done, right? I know for me personally, league's done. But I think, see, going into this game on Sunday, right? Obviously, it maybe depends what happens on Wednesday, right? Because we'll have to wait and see, because there could be fallout from that. But as of right now, the game on Sunday at Ibrox, I think we're the favourites. I genuinely think we're the favourites. Do you know why? Because of the fucking meltdown they had at full time yesterday. On Sunday, sorry. Because of the fucking meltdown that they had was crazy. It's like, they're still 2 points ahead of us, right? I know we're in the game in hand. Tomorrow we go a point ahead, whatever. But they're still technically right now in a better position than us. And you would think with the reaction for them yesterday, for their players, for their fans, for their manager, that the league got called yesterday and they lost it. We need to capitalise on that. I told you their mentality as a team is weak, it's fragile. We need to capitalise on that. They're like a wounded animal now. We need to have that killer instinct that we're smelling blood and go for it, go for the jugular. That's what we need to do, to be honest. So it's quite simple. You play the team that start the second half on Wednesday for the next. They're the starters. They are the starters for the next 2 games. I do not care. They are the starters for the next 2 games, right? And we win. We play like that. We have those players starting. We win. And I'm not trying to, be Nostradamus or get myself in trouble or get clipped up by fucking fans on Rangers Twitter. They've got no lives besides the Tune It Celtic podcast. I think we win it comfortably, to be honest. I think we win it comfortably, to be honest. I think we win it about 2-3-0 on Sunday, if I'm being totally honest. I think that's my prediction, if I'm being totally honest. Do you know what I mean? So, hopefully, pray to God we win on Wednesday and then get another confidence boost behind us, closing the gap on Hearts and going ahead of Rangers in the league title race. And we then got the game on Sunday to look forward to at Ibrox. I do have a good feeling, if I'm being honest, and I haven't had good feelings all season. I know that I'm saying the league's still done. I know I'm sticking to that, to be honest, because I don't want to get my hopes up. But on the flip side, I have got a little bit of a good feeling on next 2 games. I think we should beat Aberdeen quite easily, if I'm being honest. I think they are that poor. I know it's quite interesting. We struggled to beat Kilmarnock, we struggled to beat Livingston. They've also got plastic pitches, and that is a massive leveller. I'm not here otherwise. It is a massive leveller. And they're just really hard to break down teams, if I'm being honest. You look at the result, Livy got against Rangers the other week, so they are quite tough to beat. And yeah, Aberdeen are just fucking pants. That Jimmy Tilleen, I knew was a fraud from the start. The guy they brought in now, they're getting pumped rotten near enough every week. They're playing under this new guy. Their players look absolutely shite. The pitch is probably going to be a fucking tatty field, but we'll have to just make do. But begging for the 3 points, and hopefully we can march on and get the win at Ibrox on Sunday, and then get into the quarters that we're in the semi. We'll get in the semis, get the semis of the Scottish Cup. So cheers, guys. Coffee 23, wee bit of positivity and saying that he's will win the league, no question. I fucking hope so, mate. I fucking hope so, because that would be brilliant. Honestly, I want to look like the biggest fanny in the world at the end of the season. I want to look like the biggest negative Nelly, pants shitting fanny at the end of the league, at the end of the season, and we've won it. We've won a double. I mean, hopefully. So, but anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure tonight. Sorry, it's only just been me. I know that you're probably hoping that 1 or 2 of the other boys would be on with me tonight, but it has just been me. I do appreciate you joining me tonight. I know it's been quite a quiet one, but it's all good. A couple of us in here having a good chat, all the rest of it. Good back and forth. I've enjoyed it. It's good to be back after being off for a while. I'm not going to say, I'll be back on soon, because you know what I'm like. I tend to just fucking disappear for about a month. But it's mostly just because in my defence, I haven't felt like talking about Celtic in a good while because they've been so poor. But please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Share the Boys in the Bus podcast with all your Celtic friends and family. Become a Boys in the Bus member for $1.99 a month. Also, don't forget to follow us on SoundCloud, listen to us on SoundCloud, follow us on Twitter, all the rest of it. Click the bell icon down below on YouTube if you want updates when we do go live. Don't forget, comment your thoughts down below if you're watching this after it's been uploaded. Give us a like, all that stuff, all the rest of it. But I'll see you in another episode hopefully soon, guys, and hail, hopefully it goes well. See you later.